I love that
know.
this is Celeb Secrets because I'm the worst at keeping secrets. So,
Oh my
okay,
gosh, great. So
great.
you need to spill it all for me. People are really excited. I'm excited to see The Way Home, season 4. Tell me, where are we going to be picking up for these new batch of episodes?
Season 3 ended on a bit of a cliffhanger in typical The Way Home fashion, and we found out that Elliot's mom is not dead, but is in fact a time traveler who may be somewhere in time. And at the same time, we also discovered that the mysterious baby that was left on the porch is none other than Elliot himself as a child. So lots of Elliot-based questions, which hopefully we'll get some answers to.
One thing that I'm really excited about for this season, kind of like selfishly, was that Kat gets to have a little bit more fun. When she goes, back, we know that she goes to the 20s, and everybody from top to bottom, as far as like set design, hair, makeup, wardrobe, our actors and actresses that were on there are so incredible. The directing, the photography is one thing about our DP and our directors. Like, there was a very particular lens that they would use. So I love the fact that everybody gets to kind of delve into this whole different wild world. It's like a glamorous wild, wild west. And to kind of be on that journey as well. So I'm grateful that Kat gets to have a little bit more fun when she goes back, still on mission. But laugh a little bit more than sobbing, which I think was kind of like a nice emotional reprieve for me. Also, the deepening of the relationships, the deeper the rabbit hole goes, and hopefully people finding our audience finding solace in knowing that there are going to be answers. I mean, it would be totally, we can't put a bow on absolutely everything, because you still got to leave people that wanting more for possibilities. Whoever knows, right? Our writers and showrunners, producers did a phenomenal job of wrapping up and telling these stories in one season.
Alice is about to graduate while Elliot and Kat are thinking about the future. With the show constantly reminding us that the past isn't really behind us, how does that tension between moving forward and being pulled backward show up in your characters this season?
That's a great question. Alice is looking ahead at what happens after high school. And when we met her, she was moving to Port Haven and wanted nothing to do with it. But now that we're heading into this 4th season, I think she understands how much Port Haven means to her, how much it's changed her, and how much a part of her life it is. So there's definitely a lot of fear about moving forward, and the past has always been a safe place, but a safe place that's caused a lot of family drama. So even though it's an escape from her present, I think she's always going to find herself in the past, which will always keep stirring up more and more family secrets. So there's a balancing act for everybody this season, I would say.
This season, Kat and Elliot, they are dreaming about that next step in their relationship. So what can you tease about their dynamic and how it evolved?
I love seeing the maturity in their relationship. I love seeing that they have almost fallen in love with each other again, but also having such a wild past, be able to learn from the things that haven't worked, work on the things that have, and just to see their evolution. What's really great is, as Elliot does, I'll wait for the perfect moment. And Kat is just sitting over here I want to pull my hair out, and so it's wonderful to watch that still, play through. But Evan and I worked together trying to find for Kat and Elliot little moments that make a relationship when you're living together or you're around each other all the time, where you leave the room, even if it wasn't necessarily written, and he's wildly handsome, and he is a great kisser, you just do like a little kiss on the mouth and leave, because that's what she would do. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we tried to find those little things, the physicalities that you would see in a relationship of people that are deeply in love with one another and respect each other. And you still get the playful moments too, which I love.
What fans really love about The Way Home is the mystery of it all. You never know what's going to happen. When you first read the scripts for season 4, was there a moment or reveal that genuinely surprised you?
I feel like there's like a surprise at like multiple times per episode. Okay. Like that's like a triple axle of a feat to be able to perform as writers, is to surprise even your own cast. Mm-hmm. And I would always read every new script with bated breath, and we would all be like scurrying to each other, being like, "Oh, did you hear this?"
Did you read this? Yeah.
Because they also were very careful not to spoil things for us, and so often we would be learning stuff during the read-throughs and stuff, and it's just really rewarding. And part of being a professional actor that's so cool is knowing, like, we know so far ahead of time what the big presents that we're going to be gifting the audience with are, and as it gets closer and closer, it's like we've been given this gift and we're just like about to have it unwrapped, and we just like we care so much about our audience and our fans, and we know that they're following the story so closely, and we've put our hearts into it, and it's so cool to be part of a beautiful show that has like a healing resonance to it, that we know that people aren't just excited about because they want to see what happens. They're excited about it because they're ready to feel into their hearts and feel how it relates to their own lives. The feedback that we've gotten really reflects that as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Alice and Elliot, they have grown so much since we first met them in season 1. How have your characters evolved emotionally heading into season 4, and what new sides of them do you think we get to see?
It's funny that you just made me think about Alice's first introduction to Elliot, where she's screaming at Kat on the porch, and we look at Elliot, and that's the first time that he's seen Alice since his childhood. And I mean, we've evolved in so many different ways, but their relationship in particular is funny because they go from Elliot knowing so much about Alice and Alice knowing nothing about him to really depending on each other in supporting Kat in this search for Jacob, and also this big pain in Elliot's life about Alice telling him his future. And this season, I would say that they start in a place where Elliot is sort of like his future is a bit unwritten, which is maybe better for their relationship as like friends and family friends. And also there's this budding proposal potentially that I think it changes things, but at the same time I think they're they like Elliot's always been family, so it's also like sort of the same as it's always been in a lot of ways, which I think is really special. I
don't know what level of evolution Kat as a Pokemon character, where she stands on that stat. I'm gonna say she's probably second to last of the highest evolution. She has grown in so many ways, learning from the hurts and the pains of being the daughter in the relationship, with the resentment, the bitterness, the anger between she and her mother, and then being a mother and starting with a daughter who, at the time that we pick up with Kat in the very beginning, she's in the process of divorce. She gets fired from her job. She takes her daughter out of school and leaves and decides on this mission to save whatever she can and salvage what she can from the past with her mother. They go and how much they fight for each other, and the ferocity that of love that they have for one another. I think it's like such a beautiful transformation that gives me hope about relationships in my life, and kind of learn art imitates life, imitating art. You know what I mean? That's like Kat's story and Chyler's story are so similar that I feel like I evolved as a person, not just Kat's evolution. I evolved.
The beautiful things this show does is it continues to redefine what family is and what family means. And I think that Elliot has always related to the Landrys as sort of this perfect family. And he even says to Kat at the end of season 3 that he recognizes that the way that he related to her was a little bit unfair because he put her on a pedestal. And all of that came from Elliot feeling like he didn't have any family of his own. And so with the opportunity to re-examine what his family is about, it's also opening up a lot of space for space to play with what family can mean between Elliot and Kat, and Elliot and Alice, and it's exciting.
Without giving too much away, what would you say is the big emotional theme of season 4 that fans really have to pay attention to?
Without giving too much away.
The show's so complex, it's like hard to narrow it down to one.
Honestly, like I really like what you said about redefining family. You know what, we were talking about this morning. Sometimes you keep secrets or make choices to protect the people that you love. And I think a lot of this season, and I would say all the seasons of The Way Home, are about trying to get a deeper understanding of why the people in your life have done things that maybe initially you can't imagine why they chose to do that, and learning and growing through the mechanism of time travel to see everyone as like complicated and also brave human beings that made choices in your best interests, and forgiving them for those things, and moving forward with more love and more understanding of the people in your life.
Beautifully said.